So guys, this is Hutch Airsoft and I'm Nobody. I'd like to introduce us all today to a Aries Amoeba ASO1 Striker. It's an absolute beautiful piece. I bought this in second hand. It's fully upgraded. He had some feeding issues. I immediately found out what it was, so we'll come to that in a bit. But today I'm going to be doing a breakdown video for you. I'm going to strip it down. Plus side to this is you get the 2 Allen keys in a buttstock. I'll try to keep this video as clear as possible so you can see everything you need to see. Any other problems I'll cut in and edit in later down the line. But yeah, this is coming fully upgraded. Safety first, obviously. Remove your magazine. I know there's no BBs in there, but obviously we'll just for safety reasons, somewhere safe. You won't get this on screen, and just check your breeches clear. But yeah, obviously it is an absolutely beautiful piece. I mean, I bought this and an SSG 24. The SSG 24, I mean, I've not used neither yet, so I can't compare in how they operate. SSG 24, beautifully built, but we'll do that in another video. But this is, for the price of what I've seen them go for, is ridiculously well built. The grip is fantastic. Excuse me. And yeah, she just showed us really well. I mean, as I said, this is upgraded, but this is really smooth. I like the short stroke system they come with. Yeah, as I said, it's an absolute beautiful wrist. So we will come to that a bit later. So the basics you will need is 2 Allen keys, which are located in your stock. If they are not, then you're going to have to find them. You're going to want some. This is perfect for cleaning. I do usually use alcohol, but I'm currently out, so we're going to do the best we can. I've got some alcohol wipes and a tack cloth as well. And then we use gun oil. This is silicone gun oil, and then I've got some silicone grease as well, just some Abbey gun grease. You've also going to want a flathead screwdriver and a pair of scissors for the cloth, that is. So we'll move this out of the way. This is another one of my babies I purchased, but we'll do that in another review as well. So back to the AS. The Striker, as I said, is an absolutely beautiful gun. Literally located in the buttstock. Just a quick pull down and a pull off. You've got the 2 Allen keys that you get with the grip. So we'll set them aside. And on this, I'm going to start off, just for ease, I'm going to remove my sight. So I'm going to set that to my side. So what we do, turn her up, larger Allen key, and you have a screw for the trigger guard. So we'll wind this all the way out. And set that to one side, and then you just pull up, wiggle back, she comes out, nice and easy, nothing hard there at all. So, and then what we're going to do after that is move to the forward pin, which again is the same Allen key. This has got some signs of a little bit of rust, but he did say it has been sat for the last couple of the years in his shed. So there is a likelihood we are going to have some cleaning to do looking at this. So yeah, sorry, that's rear removed, as simple as that, with that one off. I'm going to set that behind me out of the way because it's not needed. This one, and then sorry, I should have notified before, but this is actually a body pin screw. So This one can come out literally to put your Allen key through it, goes through. It's your bipod mount, and that acts as a screw as well. And then just pull that forward, up, and she comes off. So we're just going to set them aside for the minute. We don't really need them, and we're going to come back to this. So this, I believe, has a 90-degree trigger system in there already. I know it has an upgraded cylinder. I could see that straight away. It definitely has a modified hop-up system in there. But yeah, we're going to come to all that in a second. So the next thing to do is obviously remove the upper hop. You'll need this. This is for the hop adjustment screw. Another thing about this, it's got a TDC on there, which is really nice. So, and take that out all the way. Do not lose that. And set that to one side. So the next thing now would be to go inside. Right, now this is what I want to talk about. So I actually looked a lot of research into these after I purchased it, but before it turned up. So the original feed ramps, these are called, so load nozzle feed ramp, whatever you want to call it, it's a feed ramp. So this actually, when your magazine goes in, this is what your magazine hits. Now your magazine are polymer. So although they're, don't get me wrong, they are very robust, they're a beautiful magazine. This has got some very sharp edges. So every time which you have to jam your magazine up into, that's quite a tight thing. It's actually going to cause long-term some damage to your magazines. So what I actually found was a company online that does a file for a 3D printed version. So it's very robust. Obviously the longevity of it is yet to be tested. I did order 2 trial ones in I can't remember the name of the material. I'd have to have a look. I will give the guy a shout out a bit later. But basically we ordered 2 on the trial one. It's quite a strong material, but I've now ordered 10 upgraded versions. They've got a hex key in. So with these, they've got a flathead, so you unscrew them with a flathead usually. With these, it's, you've got to have some grip. Obviously, if you've not got much of grip, you're going to struggle, which is why I've ordered the reinforced material. Costs a little bit more, and they've got an upgraded version with a hex key on the end, so you can actually get a better, obviously, fixing in there, a tighter fixing. So I did immediately, that's what one of the issues was. The hopper had moved slightly, and this had come loose basically. So what I'd done is immediately swapped that out, and that fixed the issue. So, but I did notice, as I said, it needed a massive clean down, which is what I was saving this video for. So as I said, I will give him a shout out. He's been a massive help for a lot of things. He's currently 3D printing a suppressor for me as well, which is actually meant to suppress slightly, to do with the baffles in the print or something. So, but he's having a look at doing one of them for me, and then he's getting me an order of 10 of these load nozzles out, feed ramps, should we say. Yeah, obviously with the upgraded material and a better version. So I will be offering a service in these later down the line. As I said, I'm just waiting for some more rubbing alcohol to turn up. It was meant to be yesterday and it's not. And then yeah, so I'm not holding out for the video anymore. I'm going to make do with what I've got, and then if there is any issues, I'll come back and I'll redo her again. So, but for the video purpose, it's perfect what we've got. So yeah, as I said, usually you'd use a flathead. The newer version, what I'll be offering as an upgrade in the service, will be reinforced, and they'll have a hex screw in there as well. These ones, you just have to get a fair old grip on. But as I said, I have tried and tested it, and it fixed the issue straight away. So yeah, so that one comes out. Still going to want to remove this. So on this one, this actually has, on these they usually have a charge indicator. So I forgot about this, which is never good, so set that aside. So what they have on the originals is when you charge this back, this usually has a charge indicator on it. What that does is over time it causes damage to your cylinder. So this is a ED1. No, I don't know if this is an ED1, but ED1 actually do one. I've been looking because I've got another one to build of these. So but ED1 do actually one of these, which is a massive save. It creates a much smoother stroke. There's no friction on the piston. It doesn't cause any damage to your cylinder. Yeah, it's a much needed upgrade. So I also believe this has got a 90-degree trigger system in there. We are going to have a look. But ED1 also do one of them, which I would say is a high recommend, like definitely a must. So, and then what we'll do is we should just be able to now pull that out. Perfect. Right, yeah, as we were saying, sorry, there was a slight interruption there, is we take out, obviously, the charge indicator bolt, which obviously secures the cylinder in place. So that's 3 piece. We're going to clean this up. It looks pretty shabby, to be honest with you, but basically, yeah, that goes through, removes the charge indicator, which is causing damage to your cylinder, and actually improves the smoothness of the bolt stroke. So that's what comes with that. There's a clean up as well, so we will carry on with a strip down. So basically, yeah, as I said, you remove the screw from there, you remove them pieces, pull your bolt out, and then that gives you this piece here. So usually you can just unscrew this, so but this for some reason seems to be stuck on the internal plastic part. I don't know whether that's to do with the modifier or not. So what we're going to have to do to be able to get that to spin, which we needed to do anyway, is open up the trigger box. So you've got one, trigger box. Now that should open up. There we go. Right, now as you can see here, there is a nice, I don't know, I believe, other than that, what we do, if we can just remove the trigger first, release them, just be careful of this spring here, don't lose that, and then we'll lift this one up and out, and they're done by a pin. There's a pin in there, and then we remove the trigger spring. See, now you probably won't be able to see all of this, so basically all I've done is I've pulled the trigger from here, and then there's a spring that goes in here. So we take that spring out there, and then we're going to lift this one out here, which is secured by the pin, and then here there's a spring which literally simply needs to be pinged off from this side carefully, like so, to relieve tension. Okay, so we don't need to take that off. You can unscrew that and take that off, but we don't need to. So, and then we lift that, which is the ED1, 100% a necessity upgrade for these when you're running higher power. So for longevity, we can then unscrew our barrel. Trying to keep this all in shot for you. And there we have a lot of mess. So inside here, Okay, so that took a fair old pull to remove that, so but she does just pull free, and then there is, as promised, upgraded barrel with modifier hop unit. So I am just going to double check on that, but that is, yep, very nice indeed. A little bit of wear on there, nothing too major, as to be expected, but again, very like that. Right, so as I said, you've got body, trigger system, hop unit, upgraded barrel. It's probably going to need a clean. I'll have a look. Yeah, definitely going to need a clean. Yeah, so, and then inside here you have what houses your cylinder. We'll slide into there. So on a clean down, what I like to do is I'll clean in all here first, and then obviously clean all this, because obviously the cylinder, and that's not moving, it is sliding into there. And then we're going to open up the cylinder. I'm going to give that a good clean out of all the old crap. Definitely going to give this a good clean up, because there looks to be some corrosion build up, so we're going to give that a clean up, a nice oil up, and then we're going to put her back together. So a little bit rough surfaced in there, but nothing too major. So being careful obviously, because I haven't removed everything out of there. You can take the spring and everything out, so, and obviously there's some bolts, adjustment bolts for the trigger system, for your brake and that as well, which I think's really nice. You can take off some of your brake. This is pretty filthy, so I'll probably speed this parts off in the video or break through it, or but you just need to go every crook and cranny, just go through. I mean, this has probably seen quite a few games without a clean, and then as I said, it's been, you did pre-warm it, it's been sat for a fair bit of time, so and then again, as I said, internal parts, grab a dry clean cloth afterwards and give her a bit of a dry out, bearing in mind this is metal. So what we've done is flip that over. We're going to remove these anyway, so you've got 3 of these. They're all adjustment for you, so try not to mess them up. So you've got 1 in the lower, 1 in the upper. I don't know if you can see that in shot, I'm hoping you can, but if not, I'll get a picture and we'll throw that in there as well. So, but yeah, 1 upper, 1 lower, and then another 1 in the lower going upwards. So other than that, the screw's still in place. There's no other problems there. So turn this over. I was just seeing in there, and also your threads, make sure that they're good and clean. Now what I do after this is I'll run some gun oil through it. So 1 to help with the smoothness of the bolt when you're sliding it back in, like the cylinder, and also a bit on the threads just to help from any corrosion and bits like that. So as I said, always get a bit of dry cloth. As you said, like, see, let's clean and give that a good old clean and scrub inside. Now as I said, I've only got some alcohol wipes at the moment. Usually I'll use rubbing alcohol, so I am going to make sure she's well cleaned and dried, and then as I said, we'll be applying some gun oil in there as well. So that's that part cleaned, that's that part cleaned. We'll set them aside. Obviously throw away your dirty cloth. You get plenty in the packs anyway if ever you want to get a kit. That's just a cheap kit, to be fair, but it it does its purpose, so it's actually for real steel. I use it for my blank guns, but it also comes in perfect, yeah, perfect order for when you're doing your airsoft parts as well. So the next part on this, which I am a bit concerned about because it looks like them two screws have been to that, because obviously it's a little bit more in depth. And then we'll come back to the cylinder. So this actually, I don't know what this is, but I know this is upgrade. Usually they come black. I figure they're not like this. They wear quite a bit as well. So right. Now on these, usually you have a flat edge where you can obviously put a pair of flat nose on there or something like that and undo. This one doesn't. So what isn't advised is I've got a pair of 2-pin pliers you can just put into the end and turn. Some people put an Allen key in here, and then, but you bear in mind, you are, if you're doing it like putting pressure on a load nozzle, possibly bending it, you can damage it. I mean, it's not impossible to damage it. So if you are going to do that, what I would advise is grabbing it as one piece and just using it for a small amount of leverage, nothing else. But as I said, you can get point pliers that just go in there and untwist. So, and then it's as easy as that. So as you can see, a bit of grubbing there. So we're going to give this a real good clean down. This is a active moving part. So, and then what else have we got in there? So probably do with a bit of guide. But yeah, with this though, you will have a lot of grease in there. So wipe. Fairly dirty. So I'm going to save another wipe. Just find a clean area, and then I'm going to give this a good clean. Rubber as well, clean that channel out. Always be more debris in there than you actually think. I was quite surprised by that, there was quite a few bits. And then we clean this off. Right, so this, literally silicone gun grease, heavy silicone gun grease on your finger. Give her a nice coat. Slide it back on. And there we have it. So there is one piston, reclaimed, siliconed up. So, we've got no debris on it now. Good. Right, next. Just give that a quick wipe over. And a little bit of a grease. Simple as that. Next, we're going to give this, which is absolutely filthy, a real good clean up. So See all that shit out there. There's a lot of debris build up. Make sure the threads are nice and clean. And more than anything, make sure that any residue or rust that had built up, hopefully it's just your surface. Most of the surface moisture in there, obviously. And then, as I said, clean, dry cloth. Make sure she's clean of all debris. Right, now this, I recommend gun oil. So other people disagree and say grease, but I reckon it's a nice silicone oil. It's not as tacky as the grease. It doesn't contain as much residue. And then I'll put a ring of that around there. Easiest way to do it is a sticky brush, cleaning brush, roll it around so it's tacked to it. Apply some gun oil to that as well, just silicone gun oil down one side. Not everyone has different ways of doing this. I just find it's a nice coat all the way inside. And that way you get a nice smooth layer without it being all gunked up with gun grease, which obviously will attract more contaminants and stuff. So gun oil is a great lubrication. I use that on all my slides and everything as well. I will put a little bit on that as well. I've just done that on the thread. I'll also put a little bit on there as well. So first we'll have guide. As I said, this isn't the best looking guide I've seen. That I will definitely be upgrading 100,000,000% without fail. So we've got guide in, spring in. To be fair, we could have done with cleaning that spring up a bit. That's fucking minging. There we go. So when I've done the internal thread, I'm going to put a small amount on here. And then small amount of grease on there. Push her in. Back thread first till you find the thread, and then ease her on. It's as easy as that. So, and then what I'll do, I'll show you with the Allen key, because a lot of people are not going to have the 2 pins, but you just be extra careful. You're supporting the Allen key, you're using a nozzle in your grip, you're not just yanking the Allen key. So it's not advised, but I will show you because it is going to be a high percentage. I've seen a lot of people do it. Now that only needs to go, you don't want to try and crank that. Other than that, that's the bolt done. So we'll set the bolt to the side for 1 sec. Excuse me. We'll come back to the body. So obviously this does have some, look, you can see some wear, so there is movement in this within the gun. So what I like to do is, as again, a little bit of gun oil, a little bit of gun oil, and then a little bit of gun oil. So, and then all I'll get, again, there's a rag on my finger. Definitely don't want that. And a bit of gun oil down there. Simple as that. Put her inside, give her a right brand. Same to the back. You just want to add a small layer of gun oil to the metal surface. You'll see it change colour. It will go from quite a dull and then it will come back to colour as such. So obviously you don't want loads of oil in there, but you do want a nice oiled surface at the same time. So, and then again, I'm going to run a bit of oil in them threads. My finger. I'm going to leave that to sit. So, oiled surface, not obviously for ease, but obviously this part does have some wear and some minimal movement inside. So anything that creates minimal wear is a plus. So a little bit of silicone grease, not to lag it on there, but just to give it a coating itself on the plastic. Great for plastic surfaces. And then we're doing the same on the inside. You don't want any clumps of this, you just want it literally residues. You'll see it complete compared to when you've actually cleaned her off and she's all whitish, shall we say, like you can see the thingy, compared to when she's re-oiled back up. So this has got cutouts for the trigger at the back. Literally, she'll slide in as easy as that. So she'll slide back. We'll take her out first. She's going to throw the trigger system back in. So trigger system, we want upper, which will be a 90 hopefully in yours, but your 45 degree in there, and then engage your pin first. So as easy as this, the pin rotates onto the back, you'll see, and then the flat part comes from there, and then the flat part, which is here, will come literally round and into I need to put her flat to be able to do it, but we'll come around into a channel here. So then she'll literally come past and kick back into that channel, and then that creates your spring tension. And then what we'll do, actually, I'll put these in first. They're your adjusters. So lower one, upper one. You can't get them wrong because they've got the Allen key parts or the flat head on that one to move in and out. So next trigger, oh. Perfect. And then you'll want the spring onto the lower adjuster, and not a pain in the ass. Spring being the absolute pain in the ass. So easiest way, we'll keep that one out, keep that spring out. Other one in first. Next one, trigger, make sure that that's operating properly. In place. And then spring goes onto the end of this, into the back, underneath the trigger. And goes in place there. Perfect. So it's as simple as that. It's not hard. I mean, snipers, I'll be honest with you, snipers are fairly new to me. I've done version 2s for years. Version 3s, gas blowbacks, snipers, I've only just really come over to. Getting a little bit old and my days are running around like a maniac, a bit numbered, so which is why I've invested in a couple of snipers. And yeah, I'm going to try the sniper loadout, not so much running, a bit more stealth to it, and go from there. So but there we have it. So there's that. Right, let's not lose ourselves. Right, so now this will, as I said, has a cutout for the trigger bit at the back, and it won't slide in without that. Right, yeah guys, so as we were saying, this is all lubed up. Let's jump back into it. This is all lubed inside. Got a little bit of grease for the cylinder to slide into, a little bit of oil on the threads. We'll drop a little bit more on that just on the start, just literally a little ball, like a couple of threads in of oil to help that thread slide back onto that outer barrel. So we are going to give these threads a clean up because these are a bit grubby. Check off. So we're going to give in here, so obviously the hop chamber does slide into here and here, just to give it a little bit of help. I am going to, again, a little bit of gun oil, just a drop in there, and then run that in my finger. So it's not figure, it's just lubed, that's all. Literally gives it a little lube to help with any friction on anything. So as I said, I'm quite excessive. I think I'm not over oiling or anything like that, but at the same time I am ensuring everything that needs to be greased, or anything that's got friction points on or anything like that has got some oil there just to help it in without causing any problems. So obviously now what we do is we have the hop unit that has notches, so you can't really get that wrong. Just obviously try and, there is a little bit of play left and right there, try and ensure that gets into the right fit. And then the next step is what I'm using, obviously, to hold that into place, is the feed ramp. So yeah, so that's what I was saying. Next step is the feed ramp, because that actually stabilises onto the hop unit as to where it's meant to be. As I said, the newer versions I've got coming, I've got an Allen key thing, so you can just nip her up, but I'm having to use my finger. So we'll get her to a point next, and that stabilises the left to right. Bring the barrel down, up and over carefully, making sure your stabilisers are where they're meant to be. Find the thread, and then we go. what this do obviously is stabilise and modify to where it's meant to be. Right, now what we do on this is when you come all the way around, you'll get to a point where it's gone past. So these actually have a marker, the writing will be on the top, and then you've got a small marker, I don't know if you'll see it in the camera, but you've got a small marker arrow here, and that literally lines up with that notch there. Now you might think that that's loose, but that is how it's meant to be for the meantime. Okay, and you just make sure that that's in there. That's good. Hop, screw, next. So that. There. Always counterclockwise first till you feel your thread. You don't want to cross thread anything. Screw that down and in just until you feel a bit of tension. Back her off a bit and then you should be good. Right, so now what we want to do, ensure that definitely is in place properly. Yep. Right, so we've gone through trigger, hop unit, that's gone in. Obviously the breakdown of a hop unit is in a different video. We've got an upgraded barrel in there, everything's all well greased, not overly greased obviously, and then we'll go back to, just check the body, it's nice and clean to be fair, and also here. So the next step would be body over. See how that just literally drops down, slides back into position. So bipod bolt, screw, body pin, and get in so far, and obviously in nice and tight. Before you put your body on, you want to get this in first. So what you do is make sure she's aligned. Trigger back. And she should just pop in. So, and then slide her in. Right, there we go. Right, so you've got 3 indents. Make it nice and easy. You want one either side, one to the lower. Pull your trigger as you're sliding her in, and then as she's home, before you rack her, to make it a bit easier, or you can just rack her by the look of it, you want to insert that pin in and through, rotate, bolt into place, hold that in place, the pin will still be in there, and then you can push the screw in. Single Allen key, maybe Allen key, don't want to cross thread it, it's always back thread, and then she'll just nicely wind in. And you don't want to crank this, but obviously you do want it fairly tight. So Right, so that feels pretty nice. So what we're now going to do, and then lower body, stock, whatever you want to call it, and then smaller screw to the front. Trigger guard snaps into place. Now, as I said, this is a beautifully built gun. Like the plastic feels awesome. It doesn't feel cheap or like it's a nice, strong, reinforced ABS. It is a beautiful gun. As I said, it's if you're looking for a nice sniper out there, this is definitely one I would advise, because it is even out of the box. I mean, standard, I believe they're absolutely great. So I mean, as I said, I can't comment. This is an upgraded one. I have shot this myself in the garden after I've done the feed ramp to make sure that that's another thing as well. Just check that was nice and secure, because as I said, I haven't got the Allen key one, so it is at the moment finger tight, but I did test this when I done it the other day and it worked flawless just from changing that out. So right, as I said, I will give him, let me just rotate, a shout out. So when I offer this as a service upgrade or service package, you will get your original back, but I will install these or I cannot install these. It's entirely up to you. So they will be coming reinforced and they will be the version 2 with the Allen key in the end. I will try and test them obviously before using them, but the version 1s work perfectly fine. The version 2s was an upgrade to it, so the version 1s worked flawlessly. The version 2s were yeah, redesigned to work better with the installation side of it. So performance wise, just as good. Strength wise, even, I mean, you're not breaking that, not very easily, I can tell you that straight away. So I mean, obviously, no, it's not steel, but still sharp edged polymer over time, and you do have to, I'll show you in a minute, you do have to give these a jam in, whereas onto polymer, I mean, you can even hear and feel the difference there straight away. So personally, all the way for what it costs you, as I said, it's definitely worth it all the time. I will give him a shout out, as I said on here, but Leia is his company on Facebook. I will find the name and I'll do obviously a screenshot on the video of his page. Absolutely diamond guy. We call him KB. We're on the airsoft group. He's called KB. Absolutely will help with anything. I mean, bearing in mind if he is very busy, if he can get you in to get it done, he'll get it done. If he can find a file for you or create it on the CAD, he'll do it. He is good. Yeah, a good lad like that. So I do want to get my scope back on. As I said, removing the sights is not a necessity. I'll just take it off for ease of weight. Obviously, they are fairly heavy. They're not light sights. So, but yeah. So hopefully, fingers crossed, what we will do is reinstall the Allen keys in the getting ahead of myself that everything is absolutely fine and hunky-dory. So over there. So now what we should have, safety still works. Yep. And nice. So she definitely operates, no problem. So we'll chuck a mag in now and we'll be going to a video. So thank you for watching, guys. If there's anything else, obviously bear with us. As I said, it is my first time doing videos, so I've been at this for 16 years now. Version 2s, version 3s, gas blowbacks, snipers, all a new thing for me. It never really interested me before. Obviously, as I'm getting older, as I said, the days of running around are a little bit numbered. So yeah, which is why I've come over to the airsoft side, and I thought anything and everything I can help with, I'll post a little video up. It'll help you guys out. Yeah, it just help where I can. So I am going to be doing some reviews over all of my airsoft guns I've got. As I said, I've got SSG 24, Mark 23, KP 16, my fully upgraded ENL MUR. I've got Gate Asta in there, Quantum Trigger. You'll see that on another video anyway. I won't keep you for too much longer, guys, but if there's anything you would like to see, if I've got it, I'll do the review. If I haven't got it, I'll try and get my hands on it for you so we can do a review. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'm Nobody, and if you can hit a like and subscribe, anything will help. As I said, this is something I'm trying to do to help you guys out. So